So House That Disappeared was one of the movies I really wanted to see this year in 2017. And the reason why is that it's a horror thriller movie. And I'm a big fan of the horror thriller genre. So is this movie scary and a legit horror thriller movie? Well, let's find out. So the story starts off like this. A woman wakes up one night in her family home, played by Kim Yoonjin, and you know her from the Lost series, as well as many Korean movies such as Shitty and Ode to My Father. And she looks in the mirror, and the first thing she notices is that the mirror is cracked, her head is bleeding, and she's really just like injured. She notices her house is like in disarray, like it's totally messy, like some kind of murder scene happened there. But she doesn't know what happened. Suddenly, a scream is heard from downstairs in the basement. And she runs down to the basement. She finds in the opposite end of the room, her kid opens the closet door and the closet swallows her kid. And she's like, what? What happened? So she calls the police. The next day, the police comes to her house and the woman basically says, yeah, here's what happened. Like I woke up and my family was all missing. But the police, finding insufficient evidence, places the blame on Min-hee and sentences her for 25 years in prison for murdering her family. Fast forward 25 years later, she's released from prison and she goes back to live to the very same house that her family disappeared to. And thus starts the story of The House of the Disappeared. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this movie stars Kim Yoonjin, and she's a pretty big name in both Western audiences as well as Korean audiences. The other main actor of this movie is Ok Taecyeon, and you probably know him from the K-pop band 2PM. So there's only really two main actors in this movie, and the rest are side characters. And when watching this movie, like it was really cool to see Kim Yoonjin return back to Korean film, as I'm used to seeing her more in American film and dramas. So it's really cool to see Kim Yoonjin like switch between like the American and Korean film and drama industries. So with that being said, we gotta talk about the good and the bad in this movie. First, the good. The movie's story starts off pretty strong. You know, a woman that wakes up and finds her family missing and she gets charged of this false murder / disappearance. I found that was really cool. Kim Yoonjin's acting was really good, as well as like Ok Taecyeon. And the side characters of the movie, like the rest of the side characters of this movie do a really good job of portraying fear, anger, happiness. And the other actors of this movie do a really good job of portraying their emotions. I really liked the environment in this movie as well. The house looked really creepy, isolated, and the atmosphere just really felt to the tension of the horror thriller theme of this movie. Now the bad. And there's a lack of character development in this movie, and especially with Ok Taecyeon's character, Father Choi. And Father Choi actually is the most interesting person in this movie, but he gets barely any character development. And that's a shame, because I think this movie, with Father Choi's character being more developed, could have been actually a much stronger movie. But when you have two main characters and only one character gets somewhat developed, but the other one really doesn't get developed at all, like even less than a side character, you kind of wonder, this movie's missing a lot of potential. What could have happened if Ok Taecyeon's character was developed even further? The other thing is, this movie wasn't really a horror thriller as advertised in movie posters. It was more of a thriller, and it didn't really have too many scary scenes. And I was kind of disappointed by that, because I was looking more for a horror film. But I understood the direction of the film when I was watching it, that it was pointed more towards a thriller genre. And the last one is, once you find out the twist in this movie, like what's really going on, and a lot of people might connect the dots during the middle of the movie, the rest of the movie kind of feels like I don't want to say chore, but it kind of feels like it drags on, because once the mystery is over, you really don't have anything else to latch onto this movie. So, our final verdict: watch this movie if you're a fan of Kim Yoonjin, or you want to see like Ok Taecyeon in his newest film. But other than that, like, is it a good horror thriller movie? I think it's okay. It's not terrible. So what did you guys think about our review of The House That Disappeared? Do you guys want to watch this movie? Did you guys hear about this movie? Do you guys want to watch this movie? I'd love to know your comments in the comments below. And if you guys want more Asian movie suggestions, please sign up for our free email list and grab the free ebook, The 108 Asian Movies to Watch. And with that being said, I'm off to watch some more Asian movies, but I'll be back soon. So I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy, guys.